Tonight, Englebrook Independent News is taking a closer look at series of major federal crimes cases prosecuted in Southern District of Ohio. Cases involve gun violence on college campuses, child exploitation tied to online platforms, threats against federal agents, AI-generated child sexual abuse material, large-scale drug trafficking, and fraud targeting veterans and student aid programs. These are federal cases with serious consequences, and together they paint a stark picture of the scope and severity of the crimes moving through Ohio's federal court this month. We begin in Dayton. A 19-year-old Dayton man has pled guilty in federal court after a shootout at the University of Dayton's Halloween party. Dylan Heiner of Dayton admitted to illegally receiving a firearm or ammunition while under indictment for another felony crime. According to court documents, the incident occurred on November 1st of 2025 during a Halloween party near the University of Dayton campus. Investigators say Heiner participated in a shootout, firing multiple rounds of ammunition in the air. Responding officers from Dayton Police Department and University of Dayton Police Department recovered spent shells casing and later reviewed home surveillance videos documenting the gunfire. Federal authorities arrested Heiner on November 10th of 2025. At the time, he was already under indictment in Montgomery County for carrying a concealed weapon and inappropriately handling a firearm in a motor vehicle. The federal charges carry a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. A Fairfield County man has pled guilty to a federal child pornography offense following an investigation that began with a cyber tip. Carson A. Bigham, 24, of Lancaster, admitted to receiving child pornography. He was initially arrested on federal charges in May of 2025, with formal charges filed in January of 2026. Investigators say the cases stem from two separate reports made by the National Center of Missing and Exploited Child, or NCMEC, connected to the Columbus man later charged federally with child exploitation charges. One report from Kick Messenger involving distribution of 13 child pornography files. The second originated from Sniffs LLC, a map-based social networking application. A forensic review of seized devices revealed explicit conversations between Bigham and Columbia's suspect, including discussion about sexual activity involving minors. Between August of 2024 and May of 2025, prosecutors say Bigham received files depicting prepubescent children engaging in sexual acts with adults. At the time, Bigham was employed at Columbus Firefighter. Receiving child pornography carries a maximum penalty of 20 years in federal prison. A Texas man with a prior conviction for online solicitation of a minor has pled guilty in federal court after traveling to Ohio to exploit a teenager he met while playing Call of Duty. Harrison Michael Barton, 38, of North Detroit, Texas, admitted to exploiting charges tied to February 2025 arrest at John Glenn Columbia's International Airport, where he was attempting to flee with the victim. Court records show Barton met the 15-year-old victim through Call of Duty mobile game, then traveled by Greyhound bus from Texas to Ohio about a month later. He admitted to engaging in sexual acts, taking sexually explicit photos, and admitting to transporting the victim out of state, all while wanted on Texas parole warrants. Barton's plea agreement recommended a sentence of 25 to 30 years in federal prison. A Columbus man is facing federal charges after allegedly making violent threats against federal immigration officers on social media. Justin Mazelnova, 21, was indicted on charges of threatening to murder a federal law enforcement officer and making threats interstate communication. According to charging documents, investigators identified posts on platform X, formerly Twitter, including statements calling the violence against ICE agents. During a search of Nova's residence, agents seized multiple firearms, ammunition, body armor, and tactical equipment. Threatening to kill federal officers carries a penalty of up to 10 years in prison, with an additional 5 years for interstate threats. A Vinton County man has been convicted at trial of possession and receiving child sexual abuse material, including AI-generated images. Cody L. Prater, 28 of MacArthur, Ohio, was found guilty on all four counts following a trial before the U.S. District Judge Michael H. Watson. Evidence showed Potter possessed videos depicting the rape and torture of infants and toddlers, and used AI software to generate photorealistic images of child sexual abuse. Federal officials emphasize AI-generated child sexual abuse material is treated the same under federal law as real imagery. Prater faces decades in federal prison at sentencing. A Columbus man already charged locally in the disappearance and the death of 17-year-old Haley Busby now faces federal exploitation charges. Tyler Thomas, 39, is charged with sexually exploiting a minor and interstate travel for intellectual sexual conduct, crime punishable by up to 30 years per count. Investigators say Thomas met the teen online through Roblox and League of Legends, then transported her across state lines. Cell phone data placed Thomas near Wayne National Forest, where the teen remains were later discovered. Forensic search uncovered explicit images, deleted message, and blood evidence at the Airbnb residence. The case remains under active investigation. A Cincinnati drug trafficking leader has been sentenced to more than 24 years in federal prison. Kevin Durmas, 46, headed a large-scale operation distributing heroin, fentanyl, cocaine, and xylazole through Cincinnati West End. Agents seized nearly $300,000 in cash, bulk narcotics, and loaded firearms. Duramus was sentenced to 294 months. Four co-defendants also received federal prison sentencing. Finally, tonight, a Columbus man has been indicted for allegedly orchestrating a multi-year fraud scheme targeting GI Bill benefits, federal student aid, and disabled veteran loan forgiveness programs. Adam L. Steinberger, 36, allegedly recruited veterans to enroll in college courses while paying someone overseas to complete the coursework. Prosecutors say the scheme generated tens of thousands of dollars, with payments funneled through money apps. Conspiracy to defraud the United States carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. These cases underscore the breadth of federal criminal enforcement underway across Ohio, from protecting child and public safety to safeguarding federal programs and officers. As always, Englebrook Independent News will continue to follow these cases throughout sentencing and beyond. I'm Haley Ficasello. Good night.